All right, I'm trying something new. I'm going to do a little mini lesson. So this lesson is for 4.7, distributing with a negative number. And I wanted to get us started by just reviewing our rules of multiplication and division when we are working with negative numbers. So to start with, when we have a positive multiplied by a positive, our outcome will be a positive. An example of that would be like, say, here, let me change colors real quick. Say we have a positive 2 times a positive 2. We're going to end up with a positive 4. If we are multiplying a positive by a negative, our outcome will be a negative number. So an example, if we have a positive 2 multiplied by a negative 2, our outcome then is negative 4. And the same goes for if we have a negative times a positive, that will also have an outcome of a negative number. And we can just reverse the order, a little bit of a commutative property there, and say that negative 2 times a positive 2 will also equal a negative 4. And then a negative number times a negative number is a positive number. So if we have negative 2 times negative 2, that creates a positive 4. And another way to think about this is if the signs are the same, it will be happy or positive. And I've seen this done with little smiley faces, like, look, the eyes match. Positive, positive, so it's happy. Here, one's positive and one's negative, so it's like half awake. Here, one's negative and one's positive. Oh, wait, that was supposed to be a sad face. Hold on. So maybe it's only half awake. And then here, one's negative and one's positive, so it's only half awake. And then here, one's negative and one's negative, so it's asleep and it's happy. I don't know if that helps or not. If the signs are the same, the outcome is positive. If the signs are different, the outcome is a negative. And this holds true as well for division. Positive divided by a positive is a positive. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. And a negative number divided by a negative number is a positive number. So you're going to want to have all this in front of you while we're working with distributing with negative numbers, because it can get really confusing really fast. All right, so let's start off with a fairly straightforward example. We'll say if we have negative 2, and all of that is multiplying x plus 5. So let's remember with the distributive property, this number outside is our multiplier, and it is multiplying everything inside the parentheses, being multiplied. Okay. So I often draw this with little arrows. I'm saying I'm taking this negative 2 and I'm distributing it to my 1x. And then I'm taking this negative 2 and I'm distributing it to my positive 5. So the math that we are doing here would look like negative 2 times x plus negative 2 times 5. Then we could do the math there. So we just write negative 2 times x as negative 2x's plus negative 2 times 5 is a negative 10. So you could write plus negative 10, or remember when we are adding negative numbers, it's kind of the same thing as subtracting a positive number. So you could also write this as negative 2x minus 10. Both of these are correct answers. Oh, there's my cat. She agrees. So what happens if you have a negative multiplier, like this example, you have a negative 3, and it is multiplying a positive 2x, but then instead of adding your constant, you are now subtracting your constant. And I'm going to use the same logic we used in that last problem. I can rewrite this. I could rewrite this as a negative 3 times 2x plus negative 5. Because adding a negative number is the same as subtracting a positive. This would get me the same results. These are equivalent expressions. And if I write it in this format for now, it might be a little more clear of what is going to happen once we start distributing. So let me just write that so I have a little more space actually. Okay, so again, I'm going to rewrite this equivalent expression as negative 3 times 2x plus a negative 5. Okay, so what happens now when we do our distribution is I have this negative 3 and it's multiplying the 2x. So again, negative 3 times 2x plus, and then negative 3 times a negative 5. So negative 3 times negative 5. All right, so when we simplify that, negative 3 times a positive 2x is a negative 6x plus negative 3 times a negative 5 is a positive 15. So you'll see that we went from a expression inside the parentheses that had subtraction in it to a simplified expression that has addition in it because we multiplied a negative into those parentheses. Let's take a look at another example. Let's say, what about negative 2 times 5x minus, let's do an 8. Why not? So again, I could rewrite this as negative 2 times 5x plus a negative 8. And then when we're doing our distribution, we can see that negative 2 is going to multiply the 5x. So we'll have negative 2 times 5x plus the negative 2 times a negative 8, which is going to, so negative 2 times negative 8. And then when we simplify those down, negative 2 times 5x's is going to give us negative 10x's plus negative 2 times negative 8 is a positive 16. So again, we went from an expression where we have a subtraction operation inside those parentheses to an expression where our operation is addition because we distributed that negative. And I'm going to show you one more example showing you how I would do this without rewriting that expression. So I'll do that down over here. Sorry, I'm getting a little crowded here. Okay, so let's do a negative 4 times 2x minus 3. So when I'm not feeling in the mood to rewrite that expression entirely, what I do is I speak the same steps, but instead of doing this step right here where I rewrite my terms, I go ahead and I just simplify it before I write it down. So I would say negative 4 times 2x is a negative 8x. And then I just have to remember that if I'm subtracting 3 here, that this symbol actually represents a negative. So as I distribute that negative 4, I have to say the words, this is negative 4 times negative 3. And remember my rules that a negative times a negative is a positive. So that's going to give me a positive number, and that number is plus 12. All right, I'm going to give you some practice problems. Try this on your own, and feel free to keep referring back to this video for more support.